Do you want to see a flip through of this Filofax personal size Malden organizer? Did you say yes? Yes? Well, let's go and do a planner flip through. Now, I want to know if you're like me and you sometimes don't know how to set up a new planner, or you want to change planner size but not too sure what planner pages to put in there. So planner flip through videos are such great inspiration, I know, for me to see how other planners set up their pages as well as their organizers. So hopefully in today's video, you are going to get some ideas and inspirations if you are thinking of getting the Filofax Malden organizer in the color ochre, or you just want to change into a personal size planner. So I will do a review of it and just what I like and may not like about it, so then you can get an informed decision yourself whether it's something that you want to try out for yourself, and then of course do a planner flip through of all these pages that you see here. For those of you that may not know, my name is Marianne, and through my own planning and budgeting, I do hope to inspire you use planning as a form of self-care and mindfulness. So not just as a productivity tool for our schedules, tasks, to-do lists, but also as a way to give you some me time. So embellish your pages with washi tape, stickers and colorful markers, and so that you have something to focus on for those times you may feel a little bit stressed, and hopefully you can get some clarity while you're focusing on your planner pages, and then get back on track doing all the lovely things that you are great at. So all items mentioned and shown in today's video, please find the details in the description below. Okay, so this is, as I said, Filofax personal size Malden organizer. The color is ochre. I do also have it in the pink one. Don't know if you can see. So the texture of the leather is more visible on the ochre, and on the pink, because it is a lighter, so it still has those creases in it, and because each and every one of them is made using different leathers, so the color may be different from what you see. Monitor colors do vary. It has a nice stitching around the edges, so it gives that rustic look to it, and it's got a snap closure. Do check the Filofax website for more details on all the different specs of it. So I do like the rustic look, and it is a soft leather, so it's not stiff at all. As you can see, I can bend that backwards, and so snap closure, and it's got one pen loop. Now this is sort of like a con of the Malden, is because the pen loop is leather and it's not elasticized, it actually doesn't fit my Pentel Energel pen because the barrel is a little bit thicker, and as you can see, it doesn't fit. Now, I think I've seen from other people who have done reviews of it that you can train it so you can stretch out the loop a bit, but I don't want to force it in case. I mean, the stitching itself is, you know, very sturdy, but I don't want to force it because I know I'll do something silly and break something. So for the moment, just for the purpose of having a pen in there, I do use, this is the Filofax Clipbook erasable pen. The tip of it is rubber, which means that you can erase the ink if you make a mistake. So I just keep that in there. And to keep my pen, I do have the Filofax pen loop, which has the elasticized loop. So then that way, if I'm out and about, I can just have that, my pen in there, and I don't have to worry about trying to pull it out and doing some damage to the leather pen loop. So just be mindful of that. Unless you have a nice thin pen, this one may be a little bit too narrow for your normal size pen barrels. And then at the front here we have a zipper pocket. So in it I have some of my gold coins and some notes, because if I'm carrying a big bag, I actually carry the whole thing because I do have my debit cards, my license and my store cards in here. I also keep some sticky note flags in there, and same as these ones. These ones I think are from Daiso, and I just like to use them sort of like a little page marker for different pages that I want to get to nice and quick. So it's got 4 card pockets, and then it has 2 slip pockets, and at the back you have a back slip pockets, and in there I have some lady lady stuff, you know, like liners. So if I am carrying this out and about, I have some spare ones in there. I have a little stencil. Now I actually accidentally broke this one in half. So this is a Christian design stencil collab with KDK Plans of Instagram, but I accidentally, I think when I inserted it on a shelf, it bent and then it snapped. But that actually worked out well. I just cut it and then filed the corners so it's not pointy, and then that fits nicely in there. So if I need to be out and about and I need to have a stencil, there's one in the little slip pockets, but that's how it looks. It's got lines, little buntings and different shapes, check marks, square ones, circular ones, and different type of boxes that you can draw different, you know, boxes for your daily or weekly pages. Now this one came with the original personal size filer fax, so this doesn't come with the Malden, so I just add that in there in case I do need to take any notes that I don't want to put in my pages just yet, or if I just need to scribble some notes. But you can grab any little notepad that you can add to the back of a Malden personal, just like that. The stencils are so cool. Those ones there, as you can see, I'll quickly jump to a daily and see if I can show you. So then I use the circular ones to mark completed tasks on there, and sometimes I will use this one here to help line up my highlighters. So the width of this little bar here is the correct width for zebra mild liner highlighter. So if you want to highlight something and you don't want it to be wonky, you want it to be nice and straight, this stencil is great to have nice straight lines. I saw this originally from KDK Plans, who is a collab of the Christian designs, and I had to get it. I got two, so I'm glad I did because I broke one of them. Now at the front here, so this one actually, I originally made it as a clear cash envelope using laminating sheet. They are great as dashboards or dividers, and then you can put in a nice little picture of whatever you want. You can change this around. So this is a nice, the leftover stationery paper from our wedding invitation that I made, so I had lots of them. So just whatever nice printed paper you have. And then I just added happy planner stickers here, pictures of my husband and I, and then the boys when they were very, very little, and just stickers. And then these clear pockets can be great as a dashboards. So dashboards essentially are little dividers that help separate your pages, and it's great for really if it's more for aesthetic look, but you also can use it to have motivational quotes. You can even have a little, if it's on the front, your little shopping list, pop it in there so you don't lose it. So it's a great way to embellish your page and change it up, create a new one each time. Just get whatever stickers you have left over from a sticker pad and just print some beautiful pictures, memory pictures. So that's that one. So these are the Filofax card holders. So personal size ones, you get 3. So I popped 2 there. And these are my task cards. So essentially task cards are little prompts that you can use to help prompt you on whatever task you want to do. So I have an AM routine, a midday routine, a PM routine, as well as my Instagram posts that I want to do on a weekly basis. So then it helps you create a nice routine. So this idea originally got from Maddie Plans of Instagram. Her link is in the description, but I do also have a video showing you how to make them from laminating sheets, sticky note flags, and a label maker. So essentially the way it works is you'd put it on your today, paper clip it or ollie clip it, and then if you have a new routine that you don't remember or right away, or it's not habitual yet, that's a great way to help prompt you of what to do next. And then I have some spare ones here, and then just again another grid note, just added some stickers and just embellish your page with pictures. Just, I always say, make sure your planner is something that you want to look at and you want to refer to on a regular basis. The reason for that is if you don't touch it, then you won't be productive and you won't use it as much, and then that's when we fall into the trap of, oh, I haven't used my planner. So at least if you're not using it as often, you might want to flip through it because it's got some nice sentimental things in there. So now these next 3 here. So I have list of stuff, someday maybe, and projects list. So that is based on David Allen's book, How to Get Things Done. In the book, there's a methodology on how to organize the things that's in your head and get it down on paper. So according to him, stuff are all the things you need or want to do, but don't know yet the outcome, or don't know yet when you want to do them, or don't know yet what you really want to do with them. So I created this little list of stuff, and I have 2, 4, 6 little columns, and you can group your stuff into buckets or collections, so it's a lot easier. So when you need to refer back to it, you can go, all right, I need to do this week one stuff. So I've color coded this, and for me it's pink is me stuff, yellow is social media stuff, orange is the side hustle stuff, green is planning and budgeting, purple is family and home, and the blue is my boys and school. So then if I think of something, oh, I got to go and email the school about something, I will write it down, and then I will mark it according to which bucket or collection. So then that way I have written it down. I have a system that I can go back to on a regular basis and go, instead of going, what was that thing I was supposed to remember about the school? I just go back to my list of stuff and it's there. So list of stuff is a great way to capture the things in your head down on paper and make sure that you go back to it on a regular basis, because there's no point writing it down and you don't check it for another month and go, oh my goodness, I was supposed to do something about that. So list of stuff is a great way for you to get things down on paper for things that aren't immediately needed to be actioned for today, the next day, or this week, or even next month. The other thing that is part of the Get Things Done methodology is the someday maybe. So these exactly like stuff, but not in the immediate month. Maybe it's something like, for me, I have to rewrite because I moved into the personal size. So for me, someday maybe might be to learn the ukulele, or to learn the guitar, or to learn the piano, something that I would love to do, but really not in the immediate future. So then that way it doesn't get mixed up with the stuff that's sort of like within the next month or, 2 months. And then the other things that is part of the David Allen Get Things Done methodology is a projects list. In his version, project is as soon as it has more than one action step, it's a project. Essentially, that is, you would break it down into small actionable steps, because the reason we tend to not do a lot of stuff that we need or want to do is because the task is too big. So by breaking it down in small actionable tasks and creating a project with it, you would just go, all right, this week I'm going to action 2 tasks from that project. So then that way you're not going to get overwhelmed with a project or a big task. That's the first 3 tabs that I have in my personal Malden organizer. And then here I have yet to label it, and so I need to make one here. Now I made these clear divided tabs using a plastic A4 size document envelope. So I just cut it to size. So I do have a video showing how you can make clear divided tabs using laminating sheet, but I do know not everyone has a laminating machine. So I went down to my local stationery or variety store and bought clear envelopes that you would for A4 paper or letter size paper, and then just cut it to size. So I'm actually going to do a video on that next week, because I need some new dividers for this planner, and so I have to make it. In my YouTube section of my personal size planner, this is a bit too much. These are tabs that I have labeled individually, and it's not something that, it takes a lot of time. I could have just written it down. But what I did is I just got different colored sticky note flags, labeled it with all the different steps to create a YouTube video. All these is this 7R framework from Sean Cannell's Video Ranking Academy course. As I said, make sure your planner has pretty stuff in it, because you're more likely to refer to it. I did write it down anyway. So there it is, 7R framework, reverse engineer, research, record. He does have a video of this in his Think Media channel. I've easily written it all down, which is fine, but I like to refer to this when I have to go into one section of video creating, I can look at these things. It's like, have I done this step? Have I done this step? But I have also written it down on grid paper, and I think this grid paper is from Peanuts Planner Co. So that's my YouTube stuff. And then I also created myself a little planner insert to write my video scripts. Creating systems for yourself allows you to have a better process. And so instead of having to think up, what do I need to do next? Whether you're doing video content or you're doing any particular task around the home or around your work, creating process or step by step for things that you do often allows you to be more effective and more efficient. So if you have something that you do at work, at home, that you do on a regular basis, create yourself a system so you don't have to go and think up yourself, what's next? And that's why task cards are so helpful for those times that you go, what was I supposed to do next? So really, the way to create and maintain a good habit is not based on how motivated you are to do it, but it's based on the system that you have in place. And then on here, I just have grid notes of all the different notes that I take when I am reading books. When I am reading, especially non-fiction book and things that I want to learn, I retain the information a lot more when I'm writing it down, because I'm reading it and then now I have to try and process and put pen to paper and write exactly what I have learned. And I retain more information this way than just reading it, because when I read it, I'm normally thinking of other things along the way, but when I'm writing it down at the same time, it allows me to retain it a lot better. And what I've found is, if you are learning or if you are studying, a really good way to try and remember what you're reading is, how can you explain it to someone else in layman's terms? So try and study with the idea of having to teach it to someone else. So if I'm able to explain it to someone else, then it means that I have retained it a lot better. So this is a little grid paper that I created myself. I made it a little teeny tiny so a lot more information fits in there. And then I just date here. I bought this date stamper, so then you can change the year, the month, and the date. And then I just use an ink pad that I had. I just then use this little date line stamper. Question for those of you that have used different type of ring planners, any of you use a personal size planner? Let me know if you have ever tried personal size planner or of a similar size, and let me know what you think. Did you like it? Was it good for what you needed? Is it too small for what you want to add in it? Now this is where my actual productivity planning comes in. Now here's just a little tip that I have is, for personal size planner anyway. Oh, by the way, now with the Malden organizer, because with the ring mechanism here, see how it's sort of like not going to sit flat. So this sort of like will lift up. You can condition it so then it lays flat. And for this particular one, don't be afraid to fold it back. Now it's going to create creases on the leather, and because of this particular one, the grain of the leather has a lot of creases. And so you can see here, it's got crease there, and beforehand that would have upset me, because then, you know, but I love the lived in look or the used look, you know, of it. So you can condition the leather of this by making it a little bit more flat, because prior it was sort of like lifting like that. Careful folding it, the rings could gap. Yes, don't fold it too much. Thank you, Irene. Yeah, don't do it too much and too often, because yes, you're going to create gaps in your ring mechanism. So what I do, so then it sits flat, is my most used pages, I start it midway. If you are going to use planners that don't sit flat, put your most used planner pages in the middle, so then it's nice and even, and then you don't have this section too flat, so then when you're writing, see, it's nice and flat. So there's a little tip. So this one is my personal size planner pages that I've created. I've got my cover page. This one is Plan with B. She has these calendar cards for free as free printable, and I just added the July name. Got my calendar with all my task events rents, bills to pay, and birthdays. I have my July habit tracker, and I also have my mood tracker. I've added this little post-it note because I've already recognized there are some things that I need to change for August. So as in like the order, whether I do too many things in the morning, or I need to do some of them, move them in the afternoon, or add a few things. So with your planner, as always, change it depending on your needs. Here I think I had something that I no longer needed to track, so I just added a skinny washi tape, so then that way I don't feel like I'm filling in my habit tracker. Stickers and washi tapes are your friends. My morning journaling page that I have, so I write how I feel, why I feel that way, and what to do to make myself feel better, and a little gratitude log, because writing down what you're thankful for really helps boost your mood. And then I have, so that was last week, this is this week, and then we got the next 2 weeks in July. I also have my well-being planner spread here, 7 areas of focus, wheel of life, and then that was last week, this week's. And again, so the planner bundle that I'm hoping to have available in my store very soon will have 5 weeks worth of morning journal, well-being planner, weekly spread. So this one is a horizontal layout because I wanted to use stickers on mine, and I just love the Hobonichi style layout that inspiration is from. And then I have my daily one page that allows me to time block my task. That was last week, so this is this week's weekly spread. And then we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then here we are, Saturday. There is my 9:45 YouTube live, so I've time blocked that, and then I'll fill in the rest once I've finished the live stream. So I need to add that. And then so here are the different divided tabs that I need to make for the rest of my pages. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload new videos and when I go live, and you don't miss out. I'd hate for you to miss out on all the fun that we're having here. And while you're here, if you're liking the video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you are enjoying it and getting value from the video and enjoying the company that we all are having here today. And of course, share it with your planner friends that might also find it useful. That's this week, and then we've got 2 more weeks worth of weekly and daily planner pages. So that's the rest of my July. The other thing too is if you are especially a left-hander, or if the rings get in the way, if you have a ring planners, what I do is I cut little slits into the hole punch, see, to save you from opening the ring mechanism of your planner too much and yet creating those gaps in the ring planners. Cut little slits into your hole punch. It's like a similar way to disc bound planners, you know, that have those mushroom hole punch. So then that way you can remove and replace your pages nice and easy without having to open your ring planners. There's a little tip for you. Because this is quite chunky on here, now I will see if this is manageable, because if it's hard for me to turn the pages, or if the pages start to fold in itself, then I may have too many planner inserts in my personal size. So I did remove some of my blank pages that I had in there originally, and I print on 160 GSM paper, or 41-pound paper. Now the reason I do that is because I do use highlighters, markers, and as well as these Koretake Zig Clean color dot markers, and when you press down on the page, it is quite pigmented and quite inky, and if you have thinner paper, it will ghost or bleed through on the other side. So ghosting is when you see markings on the other side of your page. But I print majority of my planner pages, it's quite thick, so of course the thicker the paper that you print on, the less pages you can have versus if they were thinner paper. So then the other things that I have here, these little paper clips, they're also from Daiso here in Australia. So I think there are Daiso in America, and so they're a Japanese company. So just double check on search to see if any Daisos are near your area. The other reason why this planner is so chunky is what I did is I do a 5-year journal. So 5-year journaling, I've broken my 5-year journal into 2 planners. planners. So July to December is in one planner and January to June. So I created these planner inserts that allow me to journal 5 years worth. So only a few lines each day to tell you know what sort of things happened in the day, whether they're good or bad. And then I also add photos at the end of each month for memory keeping. So but what I was finding since I moved to personal size planner is I have to go, and when I'm doing my 5-year journal, I have to go to another planner, and it wasn't as efficient. So what I did is I did move my 5-year planner for July only. So this is July's 5-year journal. I moved it in my personal size planner. So now when I have to do my 5-year journaling, I don't have to get another planner. And I had found, you know, moving into this last week, I was grabbing another planner and grabbing another planner. So I thought, well, let's just move the July one into this as well, so it's nice and easy. So anything that can reduce the friction or reduce you having to touch too many planners, if you can avoid having to have too many planners and fit into one, that's a good way. So I have my 5-year journal in here so far, 2021, 2022 and 2023. I use different type of ink on there, and I even sometimes use different styles. So here's an up and down, here's a slanted handwriting, change it up. So that's my 5-year journal. Like I said, if you do find too many planner pages in your planner, you may have to remove some, because you don't want to have it that it can't turn and then it's too much that it does open the ring mechanism of your planner. But I'll see how it goes. So far so good. I haven't had to remove too many pages out of it. Let me know in the comments section if you like chunky planners or you like thin, minimal planners. Here is another one of those clear pockets that I have. And again, just paper and just, you know, motivational quotes on there and a nice printed picture. So see, it's just a clear envelope that I made using laminating sheets, and you can use them as cash envelopes. So let me see if I can get some cash out of my pocket here. You can create a few of them and then use them as part of your budgeting routine and cash envelope, and use them for your savings or your sinking fund. See, and you can even change the cover if you have nice pretty printed paper or cardstock. You can change up your dashboards using these clear divided tabs and change it up, put photos of the kids, put photos of your holidays. So really good way to, not just for your cash envelopes. I'm going to take that out because it's all folded over. The other thing that I have on here is I track our expenses on a daily or at least regular basis to know exactly where our money's going, so I can then add it up at the end of a budgeting month to see if we're on track with the budget I have assigned for grocery, for household expenses, for all these things, and whether I spend too much or maybe I need to up my budget. So I also moved my expense tracker into my personal size Malden organizer. Originally I did have it in the A5, but then again, like I said, I had found myself when I had to update my expense tracker as part of my daily habits, so as part of my morning routine of updating expense tracker, I found that since it was in my A5 planner, I'd had to go grab my A5 planner and then open that up and then update it. So I did create an expense tracker for a personal size. So I have one for my cash here, and then I have an expense tracker for my side hustle expenses, and I have expense tracker for my debit accounts, and then I color code each budget category. So then when I'm adding it up, I look at all the pinks, which is our grocery, add them up, and then at the end of the month I can then tally up how much we spent on grocery, tally up how much we spent on rent, tally up how much we spent on household items or utilities. So it's a really good way. This has been a really great routine and habit that we have established as part of our budgeting and financial routine that helped us get out of debt back in 2017. So we had $22,000 worth of debt, and we weren't even living paycheck to paycheck. We were sort of like so behind. We got disconnection letters. We got so many reminders for our utilities. Tracking your expenses is a great way to start to figure out where your money's going. You're new to budgeting and you don't know yet how to get out of debt, or you don't know how to save. Know first where your money is going. You can't go make any changes if you don't know where things are going, right? If you find that you are using too many planners and it's not efficient, I've had many planners and I've found it quite efficient, you know, when I have to move to my homeschooling planner and my daily planner and my content planner. But if you ever find that it stops you from planning because you have too much, change it up and see how it goes with just 1 or 2 planners. So at the moment, I've got my personal Malden and my sequence A6 for my gratitude journaling, and they look nice together. They're the 2 that sits on my desk. But next week when homeschool starts, I'm going to have another planner added to it with our homeschool schedule. Your life changes in different seasons. You'll be busy one day, you might not be busy another month. It's really important that you do what works for you. I do like to also take this planner with me. I took it today, you know, when we were out and about, so I probably won't carry it all the time, but when I need to do, I may have to move this little notepad, but I can add my little tiny Casio calculator at the back. So then let's see if it still closes. So the personal Malden still allows you to have a small calculator in there, plenty of planner pages, the snap closure. So let's see if you can see. No difficulty to try and close it, so it still closes nice and easy. I've got 2 pens in there and fits beautifully. If you do want to check, see at the back there, that one, that's also a personal size, and that is the original Filofax in personal in midnight blue. So I do have an unboxing video of that. So I have the link for that in the description below, or you can click or tap the next screen. I appreciate you all for being here and watching my planner flip through. Hope to see you in the next video. Thank you everybody. I appreciate you. Bye bye.